Hello, everyone. I'm Molly Goins-Cox, our Chief Innovation Officer at Withum. Welcome to our Building a Culture of Innovation session. Today, we're going to focus on understanding the mindset, understanding the mindset needed to welcome innovation and change. We are going to share our journey of how we engage our team members in building a culture of innovation. And then lastly, we're going to demonstrate and share with you some of our innovative solutions and our service teams. So first, we'll get started with our mindset. So as many of you know, innovation is a hot topic for companies today, both in the United States and globally. And you can see from these comments on this slide, a lot of companies are focusing on innovation as their strategic imperative. And they're looking to have both balancing short-term and long-term opportunities to help them to be more competitive in the workspace. But as we all know, as the saying goes, culture eats strategy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you have to be really careful about putting this out there as a strategic intent and really making sure you're paying attention to all of the key ingredients that make truly innovative companies successful. We believe, and we do know, the competitive advantage of innovation is really temporary. And I'm going to show you a few examples on that in a few minutes. Culture is today's only true innovative advantage. And I think it's really critical that every organization needs to nurture that culture and to understand their culture and know it's unique in order to make that your competitive advantage. So let's take a look at a slide with a couple of very common brands that we're all familiar with. Think about these famous disruptors in the world, you know, Netflix, Cirque du Soleil. All of these were, very famous companies that got out there and really led as major disruptors. So we just looked at the disruptors in innovation. Now let's take a look at some of the casualties of disruptive innovation. These four companies, all of us are very familiar with: Borders, BlackBerry, Blockbuster, Britannica, but as we all know, they're no longer here. Each of these companies probably failed in several different areas when you think about it. Probably the biggest thing is they didn't grow and adapt with what was happening around them with technology, online retail. Many of them got caught up in the money. They made a lot of money and they were very well known, but they weren't simultaneously staying in tune or in sync with their voice of the customer and their clients and customers, and understanding what's important to them. How do they want us to receive their products and services as things are changing and morphing? So a big watch out if you're going to take that disruptive, innovative play. You have to still continuously be focusing on what's happening around you so that you're no longer relevant in our world. Another quick thing I want to share on mindset is, every company sets its corporate values, and I wanted to quickly just pause for a second, let you take a quick scan of these. These sound perfect. They're just incredible. And when you read this, there's probably a lot of companies that come to mind for you. So just want you to think about, take a look at these brands. Whose values do you think these are? And this is a little trick question for you, but I want to show that these are actually Enron. And I'm doing this because we all know where they landed, and you can have the best, you can say the best things, but if your culture and the mindset, you're not delivering and doing those things that are in your values, that you're not going to be around very long either. And in fact, like with Enron, they had a terrible ending in the market. And so just something to be very careful of, that when you're doing your value statements, that you just want to make sure that they truly are representative of your culture. And even if they're stretch values, there are ways to work on that culture and build and grow them to be that, to live up to those standards that you're putting in place. So one other thing I want to show on mindset, we're going to flip over to a video. And while you're watching this video, it really talks about behavior. It really demonstrates behavior. I want you to really pay attention to what's happening in the video. What's the mindset of the people who are in the video? What stands out? Let's take a quick peek.
To answer that question, we set up a hidden camera experiment to see if this woman would stand up at the sound of this tone, simply because everyone else is. You might be thinking you'd never go along with this. Or would you? After just 3 beeps, and without knowing why she's doing it, this woman is now conforming perfectly to the group. But what happens if we take the group away?
Elaine, please.
Okay, now she's alone. The crowd is gone and nobody is watching her except our hidden cameras. What do you think she'll do? She's now conforming to the rules of the group without them even being there. Now, watch what happens when we introduce another outsider who doesn't know the rules.
Have a seat and they'll be out in just a couple minutes. Thanks so much.
Everybody was doing it, so I thought I was supposed to.
Think she'll teach the new guy what to do? We kept the cameras rolling as more unsuspecting patients arrived. And slowly but surely, what began as a random rule for this woman has now become the social norm for everyone in this waiting room. Here to explain what's going on in their brains is Jonah Berger of the University of Pennsylvania.
This sort of internalized form of herd behavior is part of what we call social learning. Starting at a very early age, when we see members of our group perform a task, our brains literally reward us for following in their footsteps.
But when I saw everybody stand up, I felt like I needed to join them. Otherwise, I'm like excluded. Once I decided to go with it, then I felt much more comfortable.
Conformity is how we become socialized, but it can also cause us to develop bad habits or repeat past wrongs.
And it's why even this rebel, who wasn't standing for any of this nonsense, eventually joined the ranks. And the only thing more shocking than seeing how easily conformity affects the way you act is that similar forces are subconsciously shaping the way you think right now.
So shocking. The video is really just reminding us what we see each and every day in our organizations. You know, each of us are doing things, reacting to things, and just kind of going along with what everyone else is doing. And it can be very dangerous. I have this little diagram to show you how culture is created each and every day. So basically, we have team members and different folks are interacting and working together. They have some kind of experience. Then through that experience, then there are assumptions that are made through that experience. In this case, the lady knew she needed to stand up, or she thought she needed to stand up. That was her assumption. And then she just started to act in accordance. Those became the behaviors. And every single person in that process did the exact same thing. So these are the things we have to be careful of and be very in tune within our culture, because they're the things we do, we say, we reinforce each and every day. These are those things that shape the culture and allow sometimes a lot of bad things to happen, like in the Enron situation, versus being a true culture of innovation and really thinking about your customers, thinking about your clients, and doing what's best for them and for your firm. So what is your organization culture like? We all know that organization culture is shaped by the norms and values that guide behavior. And we at Withum, for our innovation culture, we are focused on, we want to make sure everyone can innovate. This is just part of our DNA and how we operate. So we are making sure we have created an environment that promotes free thinking, entrepreneurial spirit, sustainable value creation across all levels and functions of an organization. We truly believe that everyone can innovate, and we make that possible in our culture. So for the mindset, it is very important to make sure that you understand where your company is in the innovation maturity level and in their innovation maturity level. And then you can, from there, you can evolve that based off if you truly want to have innovation as a strategic focus. In this next section, I'm going to pivot to how do you engage? How do you really start building that right culture of innovation in your organization? So we at Withum, I was hired last November to be the Chief Innovation Officer, and I really had to kind of step back and really understand where Withum was at that time with its mindset on innovation. And I spent time, I reviewed strategic documents. On this left-hand side of the slide, we have the Withum Way. We have an innovation tenet. We have 10 different tenets around who we are and our values as a company. So I had a great starting point knowing that we believed in this, and this was a key focus for our organization. From there, I had to start looking at, okay, what is our definition? Do we have an operational definition? We didn't, and we created this. This is our process of generating and implementing new ideas that add value to clients in the firm. And then what was our focus? What was our strategic objective with innovation? And these do resonate in our organization. We foster the culture of innovation and always have. We improve and scale processes, create differentiation, and grow revenue. So as in this role, our senior leadership felt strongly, and our partners, that we needed a Chief Innovation Officer to really kind of bring together a little more structure, a little more discipline in the process of innovation. That's what we've been doing, and things are coming together quite nicely. Really excited to share more on this front with you over the next couple minutes. So on this slide, I'm just sharing a little more information on Withum's innovation framework. When I joined the company, as I shared, I really had to step back, and I did some surveys, I did interviews with key team members, partners, supervisors, and just really got to really better understand what's happening with innovation around the company. And on the left-hand side of this slide, I'm sharing our innovation principles. These are key things that unite us across the company. Our passion for clients. We make time to innovate. We want to share and scale our results, and we want to reward innovation. On the right-hand side, something that I have been implementing is these are some best practices from leading innovation companies like Intuit, like other larger companies that that come to mind that are known for being innovative. So they include leadership. It's very important that you have your leaders aligned and they really understand that mindset. What they say and do matters, and their support for innovation, what they do and allowing the space to do it and how they allow it to happen are very important. One of the key things we did around leadership is we have this as all of our leaders have bought in, and they're totally on board and are supporting this, and they are our innovation owners. And actually on their scorecards, performance scorecards, they have a goal, and they will be measured against that over this year and going forward. And we're also embedding that further down the organization, but it's key to have that leadership aligned appropriately. Second enabler are basically structure and process. Here we had to establish what is our innovation process? How are we going to do it? what are the steps involved with it? And we have created materials, toolkits, and we've done firm-wide training this past June with all team members on innovation. And it was at the leadership level and it was at an all team member level to get everyone grounded in these best practices. The third component are metrics. Peter Drucker is known for saying, if you can't measure it, you can't do it. And even with innovation, you have to have metrics. On the bottom of this page, I have the key performance indicators that we are tracking and making very transparent across the organization. They include some of the obvious ones, the financial, but we've also added a number of innovative initiatives, training, awards, and performance management. I wanted to share a glimpse into that survey I mentioned. And this shows you, I had a great starting point with our organization on leaders' receptivity to new ideas. This was one of our survey questions. And you can clearly see that we had over 85% of our team members felt that our leaders were receptive to new ideas. And that is very profound. And when you work with folks at Withum, I'm sure you clearly know this about us. And if you're going to soon join us, you'll also get to experience that with us as well. I want to share a little bit more, give you more color on our culture. As I shared, we have those 6 enablers around the live wheel, but we need to, I just want to show you this more in real life. So our innovative culture, these are things we have done. On the far left here with the light bulb, we have introduced a new cloud-based innovation platform. This is where all of our innovation ideas are housed and stored. This is a place where all team members can see the ideas that are out there. It's shared company-wide, and we've gotten a really good engagement from our team members and our leaders on this platform. To the right of that, we have innovation resources. We have a SharePoint site set up with videos. As we know, a lot of folks today really enjoy using videos to learn instead of going through large training classes. So short videos, but we've actually recorded all of our training sessions. And then below that, we even have an innovation dashboard where, again, all team members can see by area, by department, by practice, who's doing what with innovation. And we have those key performance indicators that are associated with that as well. And moving across the page, also a lot of other good things we're doing with just quick buttons to easy information to find who innovation owners are for different areas, what projects are happening, and then where to get innovation support. And then on the far right, I have our, basically I put out a monthly email, which includes what's happening around innovation in the company. All right, moving right along. Our celebration hub, this is all part of the enablers. And one of the key things is you have to reward and recognize team members. What a lot of companies do that fail with innovation is they keep it all at a very high level where the senior leaders and leaders are talking about it, but it's not really getting carried through with their practices across the organization. And typically ideas are coming up from more junior staff members or team members, and those ideas, those folks don't get recognized for their innovation. And so what we have done, we have created a celebration day at Withum. We just had our first one in October. And once a month, we recognize our innovators and our forward-thinking team members on this day. We recognize folks who have submitted ideas, who have an idea has gone on into a project, and then those who have been fully executed. And our team members, they recognize their pictures on a tile with the project that they did on the hub, and then they're also rewarded with Withum bucks that can range anywhere from $50 to $500. And then annually, we do an Innovation Strength Award where projects are nominated, and one project owner is allotted $1,000 for their contributions. All right. So as I've shared, this section really talked about what Withum is doing around innovation. You can see we have a lot of cool things happening. We're being very methodical about it, and the 6 enablers are really the key and cornerstone for us keeping it all together and keeping it moving forward for the organization. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you what we're doing in our culture around innovation. There's so many cool things we're doing, but I think you'll hear me talk with our team members that when we talk about innovation, innovation is really stemmed from being close to your clients and your customers, understanding where their pain points are, where their needs are, and then helping them to solve those problems. And Withum does an outstanding job in this area. And I just want to share a couple of these with you. I know many of us will never forget, around March 27th of 2019, the world really changed with COVID. And then around that same time, the CARES Act was passed. And when that all happened, we all have probably not good memories of some of that because things started shutting down everything. Something like we've never seen before with the pandemic. And through this, our team, our partner teams, and our leaders quickly knew this is something that was very serious. And as soon as we got the CARES Act passed, we got that first draft of the legislation, we formed a COVID relief think tank. And we brought together some of our partners who took this on not as an innovation opportunity, but took it on even more as a duty and responsibility that we needed to get to understand this and to build deep bench strength around this. Because if you remember at that time, no one knew anything about it, and it was really hard to get, like, what does this mean? What do you do in these different areas? So this team that's on this page, they rapidly got together. It was very intense time, and they dived in and really got to understand what it meant. We had daily calls, daily emails even that went out, not just to our partners and to our industries, but even to individuals outside of our business. And we were asked to speak on many conference calls. We actually set up one of our first conference calls. We had over 3,000 people who joined that call, and we had over 1,000 questions. So from there, this team, and we formalized our internal structure, which was pretty cool. And we were able to get out there and really help our clients and the world and the folks in the United States to better understand what all of this meant. And we were the thought leaders in this area. We helped our clients to secure in this space over $2 billion over this time. And then that was with the payroll protection program. And then the other impacts are with the employee retention credit. We had well over $100 million at the ERC credits that we help companies to get. So this is the impact you can have with listening, being in tune, and responding, and doing what's at the true values of your company, and taking that responsibility and making this a duty or responsibility and doing the right things, and the rest will come. Another one I want to share is about 2 years ago, there's a big trend now where companies are outsourcing their accounting practices. And we had one of our leaders, Nina Chimura, she saw this coming about 2.5, 3 years ago, and she got in front of this. And she has built a whole practice for us around outsourcing of accounting services. And this just gives a quick glimpse of it. This has grown rapidly. This is a very large business for us. And these are the many different services that we offer in these areas. And this business has grown to well over 10 million of revenue a year and growing. So it's just great, another great example. Nearly there. I wanted to share this slide because this is as the Chief Innovation Officer, I have an innovation solution team. This is an internal team that really focuses on the firm wide. We're here to support our team members and our areas to come up with innovative ideas and quicker ways to get things done and in the market. We have big goals around revenue generation, but also cost reduction. We're trying to balance both of those. And some big things that we're working on are simplifying how we work. We have a lot of our team members that have nominated and suggested ideas to make things smarter, cheaper, faster, and we're doing those. Accelerating work papers like K1s and other documents. We have many ways that we can accelerate getting those K1s to partners. We also have another big area on new services and tools. So you'll be seeing a lot more from Withum on this front with different tools that we have available, that we'll be having available, early next year and going forward. So to wrap this up, we really appreciate your time and your focus. Like I've said throughout this, everyone can innovate. And these are some things you can do to help your organization to move forward with an innovative mindset. Welcome innovation change. You can help to build the innovative culture and engage team members. Listen and seek out innovative solutions for clients, your clients and customers. And we're doing this for our clients in the firm, but you can do the same in your world. And then make sure you're celebrating the success on the journey with your team members. So I really appreciate this time with you. Look forward to getting to know you better. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and have a great day. Thank you.